we need to talk about one moment in your career in particular. It's probably not the most famous moment of your career, but probably the most spoken about one. I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask you. It's actually you being substituted for a young, skinny lad from Highton called Steven Gerrard. Now, the rest is history, really, when it comes to Steven Gerrard. But tell us a little bit about your first experiences of seeing him in training, because obviously this is his debut that we're talking about when he comes on, and he comes on at right back, obviously, and yeah, we know what happens after. But for you, obviously, you're involved in that moment, so you're kind of involved in his start, if you like, of his journey in a weird sense. But in terms of watching him in training, again, this young teenager just starting out, what did you think when you first seen him?
Well, it was normal that we had the young guys coming in from the academy and train with us for a week or so, to sort of try and test the water to see, ease them into the next step. So there were some new faces now and then clearly remember then when Steven Gerrard and also what was his name? It was we only call it Righty. It was also a fullback, Steve Wright, was it? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So they were mates, and they came in around the same time. Really young and skinny. Not a lot of weight training by then. So, but Steven Gerrard, he stood out because for the size of him, he really got stuck in, and he had this determination. So he just made a mark from the first time I saw him. But still, I was surprised how quickly Gerard Houllier gave him playing time for the first team. I think you mentioned when he was first when he made his debut, when he came on for me as a fullback towards the end of the game. But not long after that, Gerard Houllier started him away at White Hart Lane, I think. And I was surprised. Sure, I saw he was a good player and a big talent, but maybe I thought maybe early enough to play him from the start in a tough game like that. But clearly, Gerard Houllier and also the rest of the coaching staff saw that he had something special, and he was ready for it. So, yeah, so it's a bit funny that that's one of the moments I'm most famous for. Yeah, making way for him.
Absolutely. Every time the anniversary comes around of his debut, of course, it's November, end of November. Obviously, you see the on this days on social media and stuff like that, and it's obviously always you getting replaced by him. Young, skinny kids stood on the side of the pitch waiting to come on. But as I say, what a career he had. I mean, just unbelievable footballer. Mr. Liverpool, as we call him around here, just phenomenal. And what was he like in training? Obviously, as that developed, you saw him as a real youngster. You would have seen him sort of start to develop and start to progress. What was it like training alongside him? You said you could see, clearly see his talent, his potential. Did he sort of grow up fast then, do you think, over the coming months?
Yeah, he did. So, what most fans noticed about him and what he's remembered for, is this, he had a great vision, and also, his striking of the ball is just fantastic and very energetic style of play. But, what many people don't maybe realize is how quick he was. I consider myself to be a really quick player, and one of my biggest assets as a player. But when we had sprint tests, he beat me, and so. But when you're a midfielder, no, you're not often into those sprint duels where you can show off your pace. But he was really, really quick, and he benefited from that in every aspect of his play. So yeah, just a complete player, and very strong head. Massive leader on the pitch. So yeah, it was a great honor to train and play alongside him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, the career he had, you played with some wonderful footballers, knew yourself had a brilliant career, but Steve, he just went on to incredible things, and Istanbul probably being the highlight and the peak of that, of course. From your perspective, Vegard, we've spoken sort of a little bit about some of the moments you've had, and obviously your Liverpool career unfortunately kind of wound down due to injury at the end, it's fair to say, and obviously you ended up sort of playing in the reserves, and obviously you were forced into early retirement as well because of injury. I wanted to ask you about Liverpool's treatment of you really during that time, and in particular Gerrard Houllier, we mentioned earlier on, obviously he was involved in the management structure that brought you to the football club. He obviously oversaw your time as a Liverpool player, as manager. But when things did start to go wrong and injuries did start to sort of take over a little bit, how was Gerrard with you in particular?
You know, I had full support from him and from the club and from all the staff, medical staff, coaching staff. They've seen this before, obviously, and they know how much it gets to players when you suffer setbacks and you just don't get back to your best. It's very, very frustrating, and you can have like periods of depression as well. So it was really, really tough. But I never felt that like sort of abandoned or given up on. So yeah, so I've got no complaints there whatsoever.
Yeah, I love that. You'll never walk alone in its truest sense, really.
Mm.
I do want to ask you about sort of some of your favourite memories from being a Liverpool player. Then, in that case, obviously joining the football club, in my eyes, the greatest football club in the world. But for you, coming from Norway, coming from Rosenborg, like when you look back at your time at Liverpool, what does stand out in particular?
Well, both we've spoken about a couple of things already. Making my debut, my first game away at Southampton, and also my first home game, but also my first goal away at Boxing Day against Middlesbrough. That was something special, and also scoring in front of the Kop against Bradford. So it's you have those moments, but also the whole feeling of just being in the club. I was there for 5 years, living in Liverpool in the city centre. A fantastic city. Got so many friends there, and really, really enjoyed my time. And I go back there now. When I walk around the ground and sit there and watch the games and feel the atmosphere and see the team playing, I get goosebumps because it's really a feeling of pride that you've been a part of this, and it's just a great feeling to come back and relive some memories.
I love that. Yeah, a lot of former players that I am fortunate enough to speak to often say how proud they were still to this day. And you mentioned goosebumps there, that gets used a lot just to represent this football club. And yeah, that lives and that sticks with players more often than not for years and years and years to come. And clearly the same can be said for you as well, which is just brilliant to hear ultimately. You mentioned it there in terms of life now and watching this Liverpool side. I wanted to ask you a bit about that because obviously since you moved on and what's happened with you and just getting to watch, and we've had Champions League wins, we've had Premier League wins more recently as well. You must also watch Liverpool and be a Liverpool fan these days and do that with immense pride as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hardly miss a game. It's to watch the team play now. It's my favorite entertainment because the level is so high, and the style of play. So yeah, I hardly miss a game, and yeah, the time with Jurgen Klopp and winning the Premier League again, fantastic. And when you got anxious with Klopp announcing his departure, and you start to think, what the hell is going to happen now? And then you have a season like the last one. So this club is just amazing, and yeah, it's great to be a fan and watch how the team is playing now. It's fantastic.
No, it certainly is, yeah. And just final question, Vegard, before I do let you go. Obviously, we touched on it earlier on in terms of fullbacks now and how they play the game, and obviously your position. You are right to mention you like the Cafu, and then it was sort of Dani Alves that followed. There have been attacking fullbacks down the years, but it feels like now, the first job of most fullbacks is to be an attacking threat and being that attack-minded guy. Obviously, we had Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of our own, come through the academy, just a generational, wonderful, world-class footballer. Whatever we think about the way he left, what a footballer he was. There's Conor Bradley now, similar, come through the academy, very, very attacking, fundamentally a great fullback, but very attacking. We've just signed Jeremy Frimpong, who is basically like yourself, a winger turned into a fullback a little bit. Like, you must watch the game now, not just Liverpool, but just football in general, and just see all these flying fullbacks and think that position is almost unrecognisable.
Yeah, and it's particularly important for sides that quite, more often than not dominate their games, and which Liverpool do at Anfield. So we just need to have those attacking options from the fullbacks. So, that quality of going forward is especially important for Liverpool, to break down teams. And yeah, we've had some great fullbacks after my departure, and the new signings now look also very promising. So yeah, I can't wait to see them in action.
You and me both, Vegard. You and me both. Absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so, so much for your time. Massively, massively appreciated. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care. I'll see you soon.